Okay, this is part 3 of 4 in solving quadratic equations for Algebra 1. We're going to be looking at the factoring method in this video. So we've already looked at using square roots. We've also kind of examined completing the square. So another way we can do this is by factoring. Okay, let's see. We've got x squared plus 16x plus 28 is 0. So you always want to make sure your equation is set to 0, which it is. Now I'm looking for the numbers that multiply to 28 that add to 16. And if you don't know them, you can just list out the factors. You can use a calculator to help you. And there we go. So hopefully you see that 2 plus 14 is 16. So that means x plus 2 and x plus 14 are our factors. Since I have two numbers being multiplied with a product of 0, one of those numbers has to be 0. So we're going to go ahead and set both of these to 0 and solve. So we get x is negative 2, or over here, x is negative 14. Let's put our answer as negative 2 comma negative 14, and you're all set. Now you may have noticed a shortcut here would be to just kind of change that sign, right? See how it turns negative? Ha 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 ha. So that can save you some time, especially if you're working on a test or something where time is of the essence. Okay, let's look at another one. X squared minus 20 is equal to x. Now I need to set this to 0, so we're going to subtract the x on both sides. X squared minus x minus 20. You want to have this in standard form. So the squared term, the linear term, and then the constant. So now I'm looking at the factors of negative 20 that add to negative 1. Negative 5 and positive 4. When you multiply them, you get negative 20. When you add them, you get negative 1. So again, we'll set the factors to 0 and we'll solve. So we're going to add a 5 over here. X is 5. Subtract a 4 over here. X is negative 4. So we have x is 5 and negative 4. And that's that. Okay. How about something that's a little wild looking, like this? X squared minus x plus 56 is 17. Again, I want to set this to 0, so I'm going to move the 17x over. Okay, so I got x squared minus 18x plus 56 is 0. Ooh, this is a tricky one. So I need the numbers that multiply to 56 but add to negative 18. I'm going to be looking at negative factors because negative times negative is positive and negative plus negative is negative. So let's see if we can figure this one out. Oh my goodness, these numbers are getting kind of wacky. So let's do 56 divided by 2. That is negative 28. That adds to negative 30. No dice. 56 is not divisible by 3, but it is divisible by 4. So negative 4 times negative 14. Hey, look at that. When you add them, you get negative 18. Hooray! We found the factors that we need. So we're going to use that to rewrite our algebraic factors, x minus 14, x minus 4. I said them backwards in the way I wrote them. Ha ha ha. All right, we got x minus 4 is 0. X minus 14 is 0. We're going to add that 4 on both sides, so we get 4. We're going to add the 14 here. And we get 14, so our answers are 4 and 14. Okay, not too bad. Now we've got to deal with an a value that is not 1. So there's a couple of ways to do this. I'm going to use what I call the Gulf method. I learned this from a friend of mine who teaches at Gulf High School in Newport Richey. So let's take a look at this. We are going to look at the factors of 2 and the factors of negative 20. Okay, so the factors of 2, 1 times 2. So let's think about some numbers that multiply to negative 20. I don't want to choose 1 and negative 20. That's kind of big. 2 and negative 10, also kind of biggish. So I'm going to try maybe like 4 and 5. So let's do like negative 4 and 5. Okay, so we're going to multiply across like that. 1 times 5 is 5. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. When I combine that, I get negative 3, which is our middle number. How did I get it on the first guess? That's wild. Well, that was nice, actually. we're going to use these numbers to set up our factors. So this is 1x minus 4, or just x minus 4. And then this one is 2x plus 5. All right, there we go. Now there's other ways you can do this. Grouping would probably be a way you can do it, but I like this. It's kind of quick, it's kind of easy. And if you've got a calculator, it's really easy. Okay, so we're going to set each of these factors to 0. The one on the left, that's not so bad, right? We can just add 4, so we know x is 4, easy peasy. This one's a little sneaky, so we have to subtract the 5 and then divide by 2. So we end up with negative 2.5. Okay. We got 4, negative 2.5, or negative 5 halves, it doesn't matter to me. But that's pretty much it. If you need some more help with factoring, check out my factoring playlist on Algebra 1 here on my channel, and that will give you a little refresher on this stuff. I hope this video has been helpful for you. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.